I'm just looking, am I recording? So this will be a short video about Saturn and Neptune in Aries, because I could see and hear many astrologers speaking about this transit as something beautiful, mysterious, transforming humanity, and blah blah blah. Same sentences every single time for years and years and years. People, how you don't get sick and tired of those sentences? First of all, other people may not know this, but this is the fundamental part, the basic part when you are learning astrology, how Saturn feels in the sign of Aries. So guess what? Where does Saturn feels the best? In the sign of Libra. Why? We are going to talk about that some other time, but you have my 8-year-old videos about Saturn, the results of Saturn in Libra somewhere there in my video list. For now, if Saturn feels its best in Libra, where does, this is the tricky question, Saturn feels its worst? Tap, 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 tap. Your time is out. Saturn feels its worst in the sign of Aries, where it was until just before, and where it will be from late winter into the spring and stay there for the next 2.5 years. Saturn hates being in the sign of Aries. Aries is hot sign. Sun loves to be in Aries. This is fire, this is ego, this is me. This is, let's go to war, I'm going to lead you. Saturn hates being there because Saturn is discipline, and Saturn is suffering through discipline, or not suffering through, restricting. Saturn is the planet of restriction. And you will have this restriction until you learn the rules of the games and the patterns. The moment you do that and apply that, you will get free, and then you will encounter another problem, another Saturnian sphere in your life, which you will have to resolve and think and grow as you are learning how to resolve that problem. If it wasn't for the Saturn, your life wouldn't have any sense. Why would you live here? To eat and drink and poop and have sex, and why? What's the point? You're going to learn something. You're going to break that ceiling, expand your mind, find another ceiling, break it. You cannot do it by manifestations and prayers and this and that. You have to learn the pattern. Pattern is Saturn's mastery, Saturn's niche, so to say. So Saturn in Aries usually means rotten teeth, especially upper teeth, so go to your dentist. Then someone who wants to become well known, respected, even famous, but this person cannot communicate, cannot open up, cannot sell their talents or promote their talents, but nevertheless, they are very hardworking, but they could be gloomy and doomy, and this could also announce something. The face could be deformed in some way, or the person with that kind of face, the person with Saturn in Aries, but and also with first house in Aries, rising sign in Aries, could have something strange about their face. Their face could belong to Middle Ages or some earlier centuries, but for instance, Saturn in Taurus will give this vintage, so to say, type of face, which is different from all the same faces on this planet at this moment. So it will put that person higher due to their outer appearance. They will look strangely beautiful in a strange way. But when you have Saturn in the first house in Aries, this is something which is not pleasant to the eye. not to say, I don't want to say ugly, but it can be very ugly. Those people who have huge crooked noses or some deformed eyes or some eagle eyes, and you could be afraid of that kind of person, and you may not want to deal with that kind of person. Also, this is someone who could have some speech impediments, if you say some issues with speech in the early age. Also, this is someone who is disciplined, but who cannot think further. This is not explorer, this is not a scientist, this is not a political leader, this is not a social leader. This person, to be very honest, could be stupid or have some rudimentary type of mind. So the best position for this type of person is some repetitive type of work where they won't have to think higher or how to lead, or they will just repeat some actions, and that will bring them salary, and they will be happy, and when they go home they will watch something on their phone or television, and they will dream of becoming some celebrity. But due to this Saturn, they won't put any effort outside of what they already have. Now, bear in mind that I'm talking just about one aspect. Maybe someone you know has Saturn in Aries, but they also have some phenomenal aspects all over their chart. So this, and their rising sign line is not in Aries, but in some other sign. So this person is using this aspect to the maximum by being extremely disciplined. And this Saturn is helping their chart, it's not damaging their chart. I just told you the worst case scenario. It will all depend on personal chart. On the other hand, Neptune in Aries could show beautiful eyes, but beautiful blind eyes. And people who have Neptune very close to their rising sign line, they usually have some issues with their eyes, or if they are not blindfolded by anything or anyone, which I doubt, then they are perfectly able to lie to themselves, to create some delusions and to live in those delusions until some other planet is triggering their Neptune, and they are going to go through catharsis followed by drama and trauma and whatever you want, finding that you are not the one as I imagined you to be. Hear me again. You are not the one as I imagined you to be. And you cannot convince them that this sentence is very stupid. They live in illusion and they think they are entitled to their illusion. When reality proves them wrong, they feel hurt instead of putting the finger on their head and thinking, where are they getting wrong? So you cannot influence those types of people. You cannot force them to go to some psychological therapies. It won't work on them if they have this specific aspect and other aspects are not supporting this. For instance, their moon, Mercury, Venus are damaged. Then this is very hard moment for them because you won't be able to convince them. If this person is at the same time talented for something visual or artistic, like music or something similar, they will be able to create a wonderful world around them based on their illusion. But I'm talking only about talented people. I know about 10 extremely talented singers and piano players at the same time who are completely blind and incredibly wealthy and happy marriages. You know, all those singers and musicians, and there are many in my country, but they're blind. They're medically blind. This is the influence of Neptune. Now, when you know Neptune, deceit, illusion, delusion, and Saturn, restriction in Aries, what do we get? We get something dirty. One of my astrologer friends told me a few weeks ago, when we talked shortly about Saturn and Neptune, she told me, you know what I'm seeing when I think about Saturn and Neptune in Aries? And I said, dirty water. And she said, no, gas mask. Like this. You won't be able to breathe. You will be restricted by that mask if you want to breathe, because Neptune is all around. So polluted air. She saw polluted air, and I saw polluted water. She was thinking in the terms of water. I was thinking in the terms. She was thinking in the terms of air, and I was thinking in the terms of water. And in the meantime, I found out that there is a village, not village. There is one town and several villages. This could be Azerbaijan or Kazakhstan or some of those republics, where the whole city and surrounding villages were poisoned by city water. Simply some chemical, either it was placed in the water, some mistake happened, whatever took place, the whole city and surrounding villages, they all thought they are going to die. I'm not sure, were there any deaths. Besides that, when Saturn is in Aries, this can relate to some weird deaths. So you could hear or see some details and you will think, how, bre? Weird deaths, weird endings. And now I'm thinking about dirty water, and I accidentally bumped on one short video on YouTube, and then I read some articles on my phone confirming this story, because this girl, she's I think 19, she went to Brazil, everything was perfect, and she had a cocktail and went to bed. She felt sick a bit, nauseous, but she thought, maybe I'm tired, maybe this is this late night drink. And then she woke up. I think she's an Australian girl. She woke up and she realized that she is blind. There is a huge case going on in Brazil right now, because now I have to expand this story. You know, there is the alcohol, like alcoholic drinks like wine or alcoholic drinks like spirits. This is stronger concentration of alcohol. And spirits are usually used for cocktails. For caipirinha, for instance, rum, vodka, cognac, all sorts of liquors, fruit liquors or whatever type of liquor, and whiskey, gin, whatever. Those are stronger spirits, and these are made through all sorts of distillations. This is Neptune's terrain now, but also Moon's terrain as well. This is Moon's terrain, sorry. But when Neptune, deceiver and liar, this is inspiration, this is artistic talent, but this is also faking, being delusional, lying, deceiving, doing some hocus pocus preparandos to deceive others. Now, instead of a spirit, they remembered some frauds in Brazil, or not just Brazil, but also in Caribbean islands. Yes, the story relates to Caribbean islands. They got to this phenomenal idea to put methyl alcohol instead of real spirits into cocktails. One guy is still in jail in my country because he sold on farmer's market 20 years ago 20 bottles of methyl alcohol, and he made blind 20 people, and I believe that 2 or 3 even died. He is still in the hospital, not in the hospital, in the jail, and I don't think he will get out of the jail soon. In my country, it is strictly forbidden by the law to put methyl alcohol for human consumption or any other consumption, because in small amounts it will heavily damage liver and make people blind. In larger amounts, it will kill them. This is the power of Neptune. And now you combine 4 people with stupid ideas, Saturn in Aries, with Neptune in Aries. Let's do it. Let's make some money without any knowledge in chemistry or medicine. And this led to total collapse of sales of alcoholic drinks in Brazil and Caribbean, because no one is going to order cocktails right now or to try rum or anything specific for that terrain. People are choosing beer if they have to drink something, and that's it. But there are people who are blind, who became blind because they didn't know Neptune. So when you hear someone saying that Saturn and Neptune are going to bring blessings and transformations to the nation, to the humanity, to the blah, 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 don't trust that person. Don't trust that person. Because my friend Sanya saw gas mask and I saw dirty water, gases and fluids. Be very careful during right now and for the next 12 months, because those 2 planets will be close, because they have huge orbs, big planets. You can consider them being in conjunction throughout the next 2.5 years. During that time, check your dentist, but be very careful with anesthesia in any form, because that can affect you hardly. And try to be smarter. Use your brain, use your mind. Don't do things mechanically without thinking about long-term consequences, because this aspect is about long-term consequences. I wanted to tell you something more. People who could be hugely affected right now are those who have something in early Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. But in 2008, 9, 10, 11, we had this prolonged and very harsh opposition going on between Saturn, dancing around the beginning of Libra, so diving into Virgo, getting into Libra, getting back into Virgo again, and then into Libra. And at the same time, Uranus was doing the same as Saturn and Neptune are doing right now, diving into Pisces, getting out on the ground into Aries, then with Pisces, then Aries, and Malaya, Maloti, Vishaya, Negati, Pachimusi, Valiti, Tsurayati, so those transits were very harsh from 2008 to 2011. And people were getting healed from those transits for years after they were over. 2015, 2017, 2018, there were very, very harsh aspects going on with Saturn in Libra and Uranus in Aries. Babies were born in that time frame. And those who were born in those years could go through some very harsh moments right now and throughout the next 2.5 years, due to this aspect happening between Saturn and Neptune and due to this Saturn's transits in the sign of Aries. So if you have someone who is that young and who was born in those years, please advise them right, tell them to take care and tell them to avoid trouble, and learn them how to base their life on real, objective type of thinking from all perspectives, and not based on illusions, or more so delusions, because I don't see anything good with this charlatan, fake medium, fake psychic, rotten teeth, failed psychic experiments, hypnotic sessions going horribly wrong because they could be altering human minds forever right now. I don't see anything good in this aspect. Yes, this aspect will create, Neptune and Saturn will create very positive, luckily for all of us, sextiles toward Pluto in Aquarius and toward Uranus in Gemini. So this is one entirely new generation being born from late February and onward. Those children will have incredible technological talents, they will have the vision, and they will have the discipline. But for all of us rest, who are not blessed with these phenomenal sextiles and then trying, we should all take care, and you should tell and in that way protect those you love. If you tell them to look at each issue from all perspectives, to be aware that little stupid thing could have damaging effects for the rest of their life if they don't think where are they drinking, or where are they breathing or smoking, because this could lead to some horrible consequences, even when it comes to air, like air pollution or chemtrails or poisoning us from the air. But this could also have some very destructive consequences for people who are smoking illegal substances or substances which are dancing on the edge of being legal or illegal. And I directly refer to cannabis or marijuana because those are medicinal plants. But there are other plants which are also medicinal and highly poisonous. So you wouldn't, you know that oil, I forgot how it's called in English, and people are using that oil topically on them. But that oil contains ricin. This is highly poisonous substance, and if you take the seeds of that plant and swallow them, you're going to be dead in no time. So this plant could be medicinal to heal you, or this plant could be deadly for you. It all depends on the way how it's prepared and how it's consumed. As the greatest doctor of all times, Paracelsus, said, one thing can be poison or can be medicine depending on the dosage. Please stop experimenting with substances that can create some lucid movements of your mind, and try to be more safer, because this can be very challenging moments. And above everything else, if you are a highly intelligent person, you will notice all around you that stupid people are prevailing, and they are coming out from all sides, because this aspect, as I already told you, and I'm so sorry if someone feels insulted, because not all people are have the same intellectual capacities, but this is the sign that you will be surrounded by stupid people, and you will ask yourself, how is it possible? Is it possible? I'm watching them on TV and I'm asking myself, Is it possible so people can be so retarded? Again, I'm so sorry if you're feeling insulted by any of my words, but this is very challenging and demanding aspect which will force us to tread carefully, because if we don't, while walking on this rock covered with the smoke, with fog, we're going to slip and fall there in abyss or abyss. Please subscribe to my channel, check my services. I can predict when you are going to get married, have a child, get a new job, will you become wealthy, what you should do to become wealthy, what you should do about your health, to who to call, where to schedule. So please check about my services, and yes, I could write a book about your career as well. So again, check my services, subscribe to my channel, and I hope I will see you next week with weekly forecast, because I intend to be on new location, but I'm praying to God. Love you all, and see you in the next video. Yes, I had to cover Saturn in Aries, but I mostly did it here. Bye.